Does alien Romulus live up to the terrifying legacy of the original Alien films? Let's find out.
What's up, Misfits and Metalheads? Welcome back to another episode of The Cutting Room Floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Going Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
And we have music right here on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, all over the place. And it's Bandcamp Friday today. So, go and get our album. All proceeds go directly to the bands. Now, let's get to it. Today, we are reviewing Alien Romulus. Why don't you tell them a little bit about this one, Rose?
All right. Well, first off, I'm just going to say that I am a humongous fan of Alien.
Same here.
Yeah.
I absolutely love
I am
the
a
franchise.
huge fan. So if you are a fellow fan and you're, wondering if you should see this or not, or whatever, if it's worth your time, we're gonna try to give you as few spoilers as we can while we kind of round out what exactly it's about without giving away too much. I've seen all the movies, I've played the games. I
played like a game or two, not all of them.
I've played a lot of the games. And I'm just really into this whole franchise. I'm really into H.R. Giger's stuff. He just makes this world is so obscene and scary and terrifying. And let's dig into some of the details on this. This was actually directed by Fede Alvarez, a Uruguayan director who is actually the director of the soft reboot of Evil Dead. He's also the director of Don't Breathe, which you greatly enjoyed,
like
1 and 2.
I didn't get to see part 2 actually.
So
I missed out on that one.
He's really a talented guy. He actually also did the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. The one with the influencers. I don't think we saw that one.
I think we might have missed that one.
I think we might have missed it.
Slipped through
So
the cracks
I think we're gonna have to come back to it.
We're gonna have to catch up. On
so anyway, one of the things that I absolutely love about this film is that it really brings back the vibe of the original 2 Alien films, which of course, in my opinion, are the best. And also
the second one is just a personal favorite. I absolutely love the second Aliens film.
So, and also, it makes sense that you should think of those 2 films when you see this one, because this film is actually smack dab right in between the first Alien film and the follow-up Aliens film.
This is
right in between
now.
those 2. This is when this takes place. The Nostromo's destroyed.
So Ripley kicks the passenger out into space.
Yeah.
And go.
Yes.
Then that's where this one go.
I also like this because it kind of focuses a little bit more on the Weyland-Yutani colonies and the people that live there. So, in the other films, you're kind of thrust into, you're mainly in space and you don't ever really, you don't get to see, as much of the humanity and the world, which you do get to see in some of the comics and books and other things, which I've read a couple of those. I haven't read them all, but I've read a bunch of those things as well. So it was really cool for me personally to see this. So if you're a person who's gone into the deeper lore of the alien world, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised to see their depiction of, one of the colonies of Weyland-Yutani. And of course you get to find out even more of their bastardry. Weyland-Yutani has proven themselves again and again to be total heartless bastards.
It feels like if it's a big corporation, whether it's real life or fictional, it's just, if this is too big of a corporation, they're too powerful, it's just not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So on one of these Weyland-Yutani planets, we've got this little crew of people who are the center of this particular story. We've got Rain, who is played by Kaylee Spaney. She was actually in, let me consult my notes. She was actually in She's been in a bunch of other films and TV shows. But the one that you guys might recognize is actually she was in the Craft reboot. She was also in...
They rebooted that?
Yes, they did. She was also in Pacific Rim Uprising, which was the second Pacific Rim movie. She was the hacker. So, you know, that's
Does she
some
type
of the...
really fast? Because that's how they hack the movies. If you type really fast, they're hacking all of a sudden. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so she's like the main character. She's a very, very empathetic character. She is like trying to get off this colony. She is done. She's had to like, you know, work and work and work and work. And
working conditions are not
the working
good.
conditions
They're
are
not
not great on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
So she wants to go to the next thing, and she wants a better life for herself and for her quote unquote brother Andy, who is played incredibly by David Johnson. This guy bodied this role. He is a synthetic, which is like an android human, like Bishop and some of the other characters that you might be familiar with from the original films.
I was hoping to see a synthetic just because, you
yeah,
know,
of course, synthetics are an important part of that story.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he's done a lot of mainly of like TV shows and stuff like Industry, Deep State, etc. There's a show called Endeavor that he was also on. So he's mainly done like TV, but this guy was ready for this role. He freaking latched onto it. He is kind of a defective synthetic. He's an outdated model. And she kind of, you know, whereas in the other films, you know, we see synthetics as kind of like these like superhuman, really strong things. It's an interesting idea to have a synthetic that's kind of a, you know, quote unquote defective. So she actually kind of takes care of him instead of him taking care of her, you know, and it's really interesting. It's a very sweet and tender relationship that they have with each other, and he just plays it really well. Like you really like care about this character, and it's really interesting to see what happens to him as the story progresses and as they get into a terrible, terrible situation.
I like that his character has a couple of twists and turns in the story.
Yeah, his journey is not as straightforward as you might think it would be. We've also got Archie Renault, who you might recall from the show Shadow and Bone, which we are huge fans of. He is the hunter character on Shadow and Bone. He's awesome, and he's also great in this film as well. He plays Tyler, who's kind of the love interest for Rain, and he's the one that convinces her to go on a mission that they probably shouldn't go on. Also part of this little ragtag crew of little misfits on this colony that all are just like wanting a better life. They're just a bunch of young kids that just want a better life. That's also the difference between this film and the other Alien films, is that, you know, those were kind of hardened adults and military
Yeah, they were
people.
all like military.
They were all military and scientists.
They were here
and,
for the mission,
you know what I mean?
you know.
Like, yeah, they were all on, you know, missions and stuff. And these really
all
are
these
just
people
like,
are way younger than
these
not
are
in the military.
young. These are teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of they're very young, and they're just, you know, they're sick of the living situations that they have on this colony.
And once you see it, you'll
see why.
I'd be sick of
you
that
know,
too.
yeah, I'd be sick of that too. You know. Then we've got Kay, who's played by Isabella Merced. It's actually funny because she was in the Dora movie, Dora and the Lost City of Gold. She played Dora.
Dora?
Yeah, Dora the Explorer.
Oh.
Backpack. Yeah, she plays the titular Dora. She also was in.
You can see why I didn't know. I was like, what?
She was also in one of the Transformers films. Transformers, the Dark Knight one, the you know, one where they were knights and stuff. They had swords and everything. So anyway, that was her. We've got Spike Fearn as Bjorn, who I believe is her brother. I'm not a big fan of his character, but he played him well. Because I disliked him, and I don't think you were supposed to like him. He's kind of a jerk.
No, you definitely
he's kind of a jerk, but he's kind of like a typical, you know, like edgelord, like, you know, try hard kind of character and stuff. So, you know, he plays his part well. He feels like a real, in your cruel friends, there's always one person that's kind of like the loudmouth jerk. That's him. That's this guy. To a T.
But also, they do give you reasons.
They do give you reasons
give
for
you,
why
like, a
he
little
acts the way
backstory
that he
on
does.
why he's
And
so
he
I'm
honestly, he's
okay.
mainly aggressive and a jerk to Andy. Because he has a thing against synthetics, and you'll see why as you watch the film. And then we've got the pilot for our little mission, Navarro, who's played by Eileen Wu. She hasn't been in a whole lot of things, but she has a great look. She's really cool, shaved head, like, kind of a tough, badass character. And I really liked her turn in this film as well. She's more tough. She's like very, rugged and like, she's kind of a badass, and I really enjoyed her character. As you go through this film, there's going to be a lot of great twists and turns, great sets that are going to make you think of those original films, the lighting and everything. Like it feels very much like those first two films. That claustrophobia and the fear. As these people, and unlike in the other Alien films, they at least kind of had an idea that they were going to encounter an alien. These guys don't know that this is there. You know what I mean? They're just trying to, do a little casual breaking and entering, and and improve their life situation. You know what I mean?
The overall is like between the first and second movie, if passengers ejected, scientists find like the solidified passenger, because aliens don't ask, they'll explain, and they start experimenting. Why?
Because Weyland-Yutani is the worst.
Why?
They're the worst.
They're going to this ship that's split in half, and the half that they need to get to is the Romulus half. The ship has two halves. One side
Remus
is
and Romulus, which is named after Egyptian myth.
And so they get to the Romulus side, and then that's when they start finding
that's when shit goes
out
down.
Like what was happening on the ship, but it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Really, it's real unfortunate.
It's unfortunate for them, but good for us. They brought the creepiness, like
it is really harrowing,
the stalking,
uncomfortable
of the aliens. Like they really nailed it. There's puppets in here, and I have to say I can't say strongly enough that in these alien movies, puppets are necessary. They're so necessary, because if you watch Alien 2 and then you watch Alien 3, you can still watch Alien 2, because every alien in that movie was manned by, it was just a puppet manned by like a ton of people, including the Queen.
Or a person in a suit, or an animatronic.
Yeah, and the Queen, I think, was like 16 people to animate the Queen properly, something like that. You go to Alien 3, and it almost looks like you're watching Roger Rabbit. It's that
bad.
Out of place. It's so out of place.
It's bad. The CGI is absolutely awful, which is actually, there was an interview with Fede Alvarez where he talked about that. And he talked about avoiding CGI as much as possible to make this film, because he was like, no, my vision of a perfect film and a perfect story is one in which what you see in front of the camera is what you get. You know what I mean? That's it. And it feels more real. It's more visceral. The reactions are better.
Yeah, because then the actor doesn't have to imagine what
they don't have to imagine it. It's there. It's there.
And now they can really just. Also, they did an excellent job making and crafting these puppets.
Oh, they're horrifying.
They were super terrifying.
They're totally horrifying.
Yeah, this is what I need in Alien movies. This is what I need. I need actual puppets just made to look the most terrifying thing ever. I need them to be stalking a bit. I need there to be more than one. Like a bunch of interesting deaths and traps and scenarios that I haven't seen yet. And this movie brings all of that.
Yep. Oh, we got to talk about, real quick, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there is a horrifying new evolution of the alien that you will see. You've seen it probably in the trailer
Probably
and
in
stuff.
the trailers.
And let me tell you,
even worse.
it's even worse.
It's even worse.
You get your fill of this horrifying monster.
An eyeful.
And the best thing is that this is a real person.
Mm-hmm.
This is a real person. His name is Robert Bobrovsky. He is.
Was he 7'1"?
He's almost 7.5 feet tall. He's humongous.
Almost 7.5? Oh,
he's humongous basketball player from Romania.
Mm-hmm.
This guy put in work.
And again, this was so well because
he was terrifying.
Absolutely there.
Absolutely terrifying. You can see
horrific makeup ever. Man.
It's so bad. It's
so I knew there was a person I knew this was a person from before I saw the movie. But it's hard to believe. But when you watch it, you're like, is there really a person in there? There's a couple of shots like this, the way
he's got very unique anatomy.
But they with the makeup and prosthetics, they really over exaggerated stuff to make it look like wow.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yes. Kudos.
So all of that being said, those are what we gotta say.
That's what we gotta say.
You know, I know there's some people that are gonna be nitpicky about this, that, and the other. But let us just give you our ratings. Our ratings, for those of you who might be new to us, are graded by chainsaw, with 5 chainsaws being the absolute best,
and 1 chainsaw being the worst.
Dud. So, that being said, Thorn Black, how would you rate this film, Alien Romulus? How many chainsaws does this film deserve? I think I'm going to give this movie a 4.5 chainsaws. Oh, yeah. This was great. It was a really fun watch. The sound was really good too. So the sound design is great. The theater we watched it in Alamo Drafthouse, where they don't allow talking. So the quiet parts are like drop a pin quiet. Oh, and that's when the sound really, so you can hear like the skittering of stuff like all around your head with the surround sound and stuff. And then the stuff like, you know, and oh man, it was good stuff. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 chainsaws. Rose, what do you think? Well, I'm gonna give this a big old fat 5 chainsaws. Give me all the chainsaws. Give them to me, blood dripping, baby, because it's got everything that I want in an alien film. It's got terrifying monsters. It's got people getting torn to bits. It's got just one of the nastiest. Oh man, I don't even like this film. In the last little half of this film, it goes absolutely bonkers, guys. This movie goes bonkers in the last half. You know what? I'm as you're talking about it, and I'm thinking of some of the later half that like I wasn't a second ago. I'm just gonna bump that up to 5 chainsaws myself. Also, actually, like I genuinely really enjoyed this movie. I think I would actually watch this movie again. Oh yeah. I mean, I might not go to the theater to watch it again because there's other stuff I want to see, like Beetlejuice and all this other stuff. But like 100%, I'm going to watch it again. That's one of my requirements for a 5, which I didn't think about. Is am I going to watch it again at some point in the future? Yeah. Yes, I'm going to watch this one. I'm definitely going to watch. I'm going to watch this one. Absolutely. So I'm going to change that. It's 5 chainsaws for me also. I also wanted to add the other thing that I absolutely love to see in an alien film is amazing use of practical effects. He brings it back to basics, back to the original way, which is the way that they should always have kept it, the way that Giger would have wanted it to be, okay? That's how he would have wanted this film to be. He would have wanted the effects to be real, practical effects, and that's what they went for, and it looks fabulous. Chef's kiss. If this is the direction that the alien movies keep going in, we're in good hands. You can take all my money, baby. I'll make it rain. I'll make it rain on these alien films if they stay like this. That's what's up. That is what's up. You know, I think I heard a while back, I don't know if it was a rumor, but I think I heard that they were working on an alien TV show.
Like, I don't know if that's still happening or
see.
not. That was just like a little.
I have heard.
Like,
I have heard
right?
that
You did
there
see
would
that
be.
too, right?
Yes, yes.
And I don't know if that's the thing. And like, I gotta look it up after this now to see,
Yeah,
because you know, like, sign me up. And also, can I get a role? You know, maybe the aliens like jumps on me. You know, I'll be one of the Marines that get caught by the alien or something. And you know, like, I'm quick. I'm agile. I can shoot.
So if you saw this film, let us know how many chainsaws you would give it in the comments, please. We would like to know what you think of it. Try not to spoil it, though, for anybody else.
Other than that, one quick little teaser announcement. We are currently working on new merch for you guys. So just give us a little bit of time and you'll see what we have.
Oh, yes. We are going to be sharing a nice PSA about this new merch very soon. So stay tuned, subscribe.
Sign up for our mailing list because all the people on our mailing list will hear about it first and have first dibs.
Yes.
That's about all for us today. We are from the band Cut Like This. Music right here on YouTube. We have 4 music videos. I edited 2 of them myself. We have, you know, a ton of episodes of this show. I believe this is episode like 48 or 9, something like that.
Actually.
So, you know, feel free to go back and binge some stuff. Leave us some love in the comments. And follow us on the socials. We'll be back real soon with another episode of The Cutting Room Floor. Until then, we are out.